Alright, so this game reads, an editor will edit 7 articles one at a time. 3 of the articles, G, H, and J, cover finance. 3 other articles, Q, R, and S, cover nutrition, and the remaining article, Y, covers wildlife. The order in which the articles are edited is subject to the following conditions. Alright, so let's write this out. We have finance, nutrition, and wildlife. So we know that they're going to be edited one at a time, so we're going to put them in a sequence of 7. Alright, and now let's go to the rules. Rule number 1. Consecutive articles cannot cover the same topic as each other. Rule number 2. S can be earlier than Q only if Q is third. Alright, so if S is before Q, that means that Q is third. If Q is not third, then that means that Q is going to be before S. Rule number 3, S must be earlier than Y, which places Y not first and S not 7th. And rule number 4, J must be earlier than G and G must be earlier than R. So that means that R is not first and R is not second and G is not first. And then J is not 6th or 7th, and G is not 7th. Alright, so we know from rule number 1 that consecutive articles cannot cover the same topic as each other. And since we know from rule number 3 that Y can't be first, we're either going to have F first, and then the rest of the N and F not next to each other, with wildlife somewhere, or we're going to have N first with wildlife somewhere. Now, the big deduction to make here that's going to save you all the time is to realize where wildlife can be in these 2 different scenarios. Now in the first scenario, where finance is going to be first, let's try and see where wildlife can go. So if finance is first, and we know that G can't be first from rule number 4, it's either going to be H or J first. Now, can we have wildlife second? Well, we know from rule number 3 that S has to be before Y. So Y can't be second here because S is not before it. So that means that we have nutrition second. So we have either Q or S because we know R can't be second. And then we can have wildlife somewhere after. So wildlife is going to be somewhere 3 to 7. Now let's see the option with N first. If we have N first, well, we know that R is not going to be first from rule number 4, so we have either Q or S, which means that we can have wildlife second because we have a possibility of N first. So wildlife can be anywhere 2nd to 7th in the second option. Alright, and the last thing to note here is, from rule number 4, since J is before G, we know that G can't be second because in our first option, we have Q or S second. And in the second option, if we place G second, then where would J go? So we can also say that G is not second. All right, so once you have that really big deduction down, it's going to help cut a lot of time from this game. Now let's go ahead and hit the first question.